In the news tonight, banks back new budget. More infringement of COVID measures. And another day of high infections.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
Pulawinaka, Fiji. The Fiji Association of Banks has labelled the 2021-2022 budget as positive, innovative and creative. Chair Rakesh Ram has welcomed the initiative, saying the national budget is aimed at assisting everyone who is either directly or indirectly affected by COVID-19. Kritika Kumar reports.
The banking sector believes this budget is what Fiji needed to avoid what could be our worst economic crisis.
I think it will definitely provide a catalyst for both economic recovery and economic growth. And I think we'll continue to work with the government to support our customers, even extending our repayment holidays till September 2021. And depending on the economic conditions and the hardship situation of the customers, we could further extend that from September 2021, but we'll consider that at that stage.
Rakesh Ram says they support the $200 million working capital support being provided in the form of loans to help Fijian businesses.
On behalf of the Association of Banks, we are very pleased that we have worked in very strong consultation with the government to be able to provide bilateral loan support to all the businesses. This includes SMEs, medium business and large business.
The Reserve Bank of Fiji will provide special funding of $200 million at a rate of 0.25 to commercial banks to lend to businesses at reduced interest rates.
For the comfort of the financial institutions, government will guarantee 90% of the loan for the micro businesses through the RBF scheme, 85% for the small businesses, 80% for the medium-sized businesses, and 75% for the larger businesses.
The government has also allocated $5 million in the 2021-2022 budget for RBF to manage the guarantee. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
37 public health infringement notices were issued over the last 24-hour period. Failure to wear a mask again topped the list, with 25 notices served. The Southern Division recorded 16 cases, the Central 8 and the Western 1. 11 public health infringement notices were issued for social gatherings, 7 in the Central Division and 4 in the West. Failure to wear a mask in a public place continues to top infringements on a daily basis. Those who've been served fins for failure to wear a mask either have a mask in their possession and are not wearing it, or fail to wear it in the proper manner. Lambasa police are investigating the death of a man who was allegedly hit by a car along Korovo in Siberia, Lambasa last night. FBC News understands the man was walking along the road when he was allegedly hit by a vehicle driven by a 35-year-old man. The incident is alleged to have happened around 11 p.m. Korovo resident Mesakendra Lolo says he was returning from watching the Fiji and All Blacks match when he saw a T-shirt on the road and a man's body a few meters ahead. Police are gathering information on the victim as investigations continue. And to our latest COVID-19 update, Fiji recorded 1,180 new COVID-19 infections for the period ending 8 a.m. yesterday. The Health Ministry recorded 5 new COVID-19 deaths for the period 13th July to 16th July. Fiji has recorded 16,401 cases since April of this year. There are now 12,975 active cases in isolation, with 3,377 recoveries in total. The COVID-19 death toll stands at 85. The vaccination campaign also continues around the country. As of this afternoon, 393,095 or 67% of the population has received their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. 78,624 or 13.4% have received their second dose. The 5 most vaccinated areas include Mba, Rewa and Nanonga provinces, Nandi and Naitasiri. Up ahead, Fijians welcome utility bill subsidies and faster internet for the north. Welcome back. Fijians have praised the government's announcement to continue the free water and electricity initiative. Free water will be given to households with an annual income of less than $30,000 for up to 92,500 litres, while a subsidy of 16.34 cents per unit of 100 kilowatts of electricity will also be given to eligible Fijians. Felipe Naikaso has more.
To keep these two basic necessities running for people who may be struggling, $11 million has been allocated for this initiative.
Families will now be able to buy more groceries and will not worry about the water and EFL bills.
While delivering the 2021 and 2022 budget, the Minister of Economy says this policy depends on vaccination rates and will be reviewed in 6 months. Apart from this, subsidized domestic customers will get 6 weeks to pay the electricity bill without disconnection. Non-subsidized domestic customers will get 4 weeks for their bill.
I really like the budget, especially the part about bills, like you mentioned, because as I mentioned earlier, being the only breadwinner, we get to worry about a lot of things, having to pay bills on time, just so that it doesn't get disconnected.
As a taxi driver now, it's a very difficult time because of COVID. What we used to earn like in one day is almost half now. It's almost half now, the income. And so people will at least get chance to save some money because just because of this subsidy.
This extended bill payment will be provided for 6 months from August 2021 to 31st January 2022. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Fijians in the Northern Division will soon be able to access faster and reliable internet services. The government announced yesterday that it will be on Friday, that it will be pressing ahead with its Northern Connectivity Project. Eleanor Turangaiviu has more.
The Northern Connectivity Project is aimed at making sure that Fijians in the Northern Division have the ability to connect to faster internet speeds.
As you have seen, it's a modern world now. Modern businesses are coming, everything is coming online. We need faster internet.
In his budget address, Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum says the initiative focuses on 40 schools and health centers in the Northern Division and is on track to be completed by December this year.
Now the government initiative is quite appealing. Faster internet speed, that is a good thing.
We are very happy with the current budget and the government's incentive to boost internet connection in the whole of Vanuatu.
The project will bring reliable access to power, internet and ICT equipment to at least 20,000 Fijians in close proximity to these 40 sites.
The customers are complaining this internet speed is low, so you're going to benefit from now onwards. So you want any hassle or whatever, you have to go and check the customer why internet is low. It's a thing good for us and also for Vanuatu people.
It will also provide connectivity to other emergency portable satellite-based solutions for the deployment of appropriate assistance in times of disasters. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Australia continues its support towards Fijian education in the Northern Division with the provision of school facilities. Today, a team from the Australian Defence Force opened and handed over the new Namoli kindergarten classroom. Eleanor Turangaiviu again.
Through the provision of building materials from the Australian Defence Forces and funding from the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, students of Namoli Kindergarten will get to learn in a new classroom when school resumes.
This is not just a building repair. What the RFMF and the ADF have done here is an investment in the future of Fiji, the future of the Namoli village.
The previous classroom was totally destroyed by severe tropical cyclone Yasa in December last year. Through the collaboration of the school committee and the Ministry of Education, the ADF offered to help.
They came to Namoli, they did a scope for Namoli, and they did it with Fortutolu. So as I stand here today, 2 of our schools are again ready. And we are thankful that it is just not just the infrastructure that they are assisting us with. As I speak, as of yesterday, we had resources still coming.
Namoli Kindergarten was one of 3 schools in Madhuwata that were destroyed but had no funding for rehabilitation as it was community run.
All
the school resources, books,
expenditures were destroyed. So we want to thank the Australian Defence Forces for assisting our kindergarten.
The classroom was built in 4 weeks by a team of Fiji Military Forces engineers from the Sukanaivalu Barracks in Lambasa. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
While coming to Fiji for work opportunities in 2010, a Bangladeshi man fell in love with the country and decided to make a name for himself. Tariqul Islam, who is now the proud owner of Masala Twist restaurant in Nandi, says it was initially a bit difficult to adapt. However, it was the best decision he ever made. Felipe Naikaso with tonight's Successful Fijian.
At 19 years of age, Tariqul Islam arrived in Fiji to work at a restaurant, but after seeing the opportunities the country had, he took a leap of faith.
Oh, Fiji is a beautiful paradise. The people are here very friendly, and over here is a lot of opportunity to the investment and to the doing a business here. So, because of tourism industry, and we are expert in this restaurant, and we want to help and the boost in with the authentic Indian dishes.
Determined to run his own restaurant, Islam spent a few years learning the Fijian culture and the way of life. In 2016, he was on track to achieving his dream as he was granted Fiji citizenship.
I started my first restaurant in terraces, golf terraces. So I started investing with a few $1,000. Then I ran that one year, but I couldn't make it that way. Then I found this place, and I invested here $350,000. So I borrow money through FDB Bank, they help, and then I start here, and I also invest some money from back home.
Despite his first restaurant not working according to plan, Islam did not lose hope and stayed on course. Forced to relocate from his Danaro operations due to finances, Islam was still determined to live his dream. In 2018, he finally found this spot and started Masala Twist restaurant, never looking back. And despite the current pandemic, he continues to operate.
We introduce authentic Indian and Asian cuisine and local seafood, and we target high-end people and the tourists as well. So due to COVID border closed, the local people are supporting us very well, and we must appreciate them to helping us, and we are working together.
The 29-year-old is now happily married with a son who was born in Fiji. His mother also lives with him, while two of his older sisters are in Bangladesh. Plans are still in the pipeline for another restaurant, but with COVID-19, he is focused on sustaining his business. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
In world news, the death toll from Germany's devastating floods is now 120, and there's still more than 1,000 people missing. Emergency crews have also been trying frantically to rescue those trapped by floodwaters. Ahead in sports, flying Fijians go down to the All Blacks. And 14-man Australia pips France. This and more coming up. Welcome back. After going down 13-60 to the All Blacks in the second test last night, the question for the Flying Fijians is where to from here? As Aquila Dharma reports, head coach Vern Cotter and his coaching team now know where Fiji stands.
Grabbing it was Yato.
The results from the two tests may be unfavorable for fans, but from a coaching perspective, there are pros and cons.
We were playing positively, and it was just those silly penalties we gave away, and that was it. And then we lost composure, lost shape in defence, and lost our way a little bit. And we came back in the second half. And like I say, these two games are really important to us to find out exactly where we are and who we've got.
Last night, Fiji conceded 8 tries and scored 1. And for Cotter, the set pieces need more work.
Set!
They held the ball. I mean, the All Blacks went to the line-out drive and they went to scrums and second pushes. So teams have always traditionally gone to that to unsettle Fiji. So we know we've got to get better.
Going to win themselves a penalty if they need it.
Qantas counterpart Ian Foster now knows who will make his side for the Bledisloe and Rugby Championship tests, which he will announce tomorrow. Foster says Fiji made them work hard in the 2 tests.
Now they probably lose it forward.
In between, I thought we were pretty ruthless with some execution, particularly off set piece, and certainly we made some tweaks and changes and got the movement we wanted at the breakdown.
Which will stop it, but here's a charge! Rabai!
Meanwhile, the Flying Fijians will now focus on its end-of-the-year Europe tour. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Fiji-born All Black swinger Sevuloni Rees scored 3 first-half tries last night. It was not only a special moment for him, but an emotional one as well. Aquila Dhama with the details.
Down by Whitelock, now Savia. Away.
For All Blacks fans, Rees was their 3-try scoring star, but deep down he's still a Fijian. He's thinking about the country and the difficult time we are going through.
You know, of all our families back home, they're going through a really tough time at the moment with COVID and other cases just rapidly rising. You know, it's going up in thousands. You know, so I feel, you know, for all my people back in Fiji. So, yeah, you know, everyone just got to look after each other back in Fiji, take care, and, you know, it'll finish.
He can't play for Fiji, but these 2 tests are special for Rees.
A dream come true. This is, you know, the 2 tests that I'll cherish forever. I'll hold close to my heart. You know, yeah, and also, you know, those 3 tries just came off, you know, good set piece and, you know, just good scrap.
The Kandavu man was also interrupted during his interview last night by the sledgehammer from Essawa. Apart from Rees, it was also a special night for debutant Samisoni Taukeaho, who scored a double.
To mom and dad back at home and all the people in the village,
the All Blacks will now prepare for the Bledisloe and Rugby Championship next month. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
Marika Koroimbete and Filippo Ndaungunu didn't last more than 5 minutes in the final test against France last night. Ndaungunu played for just 30 seconds before sustaining an injury, while Koroimbete copped a controversial red card in the 4th minute. However, the Wallabies hung on and pulled off an unbelievable 33-30 win to claim the series. Kaiviti Silktails head coach Wes Naingama is using the current suspension of the New South Wales Rugby League competition to give players feedback. The former Mbati captain has also used the time to instill in his team what he wants from them come finals. The Silktails are doing some media reviews with each unit, including the middle forwards, halves, left and right edges. Naingama has been using videos and other online tools and also doing individual reviews with players, so they're trying to make the best use of the extra time they have now. Raiders Fijian winger Semi Valemai continues to shine for the Canberra side in the NRL. Last night he was again on the score sheet as his team beat the Sharks 34-18. Cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands. In the west, mainly fine conditions with cool temperatures overnight eastwards. From Pacific Harbour to Suva, cloudy periods with brief showers. Looking at the north, sunny conditions in Lambasa with a chance of some showers in Savu-Savu. At sea, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 1:46 a.m. tomorrow with low tide at 7:56 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:40. For tomorrow, cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. And looking further ahead to Tuesday, much of the same as today. Now recapping our main stories, banks back new budget, more infringement of COVID measures, and another day of high infections. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, do you agree with the no jab, no job policy? Visit our FBC News website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our various social media accounts. You can also download our FBC app to keep updated with the very latest in news and sports and listen to our 6 radio stations live. That's your news this evening. I'll be back again with you shortly for tonight's For the Record. Until then, Odemanda.